Welcome back to the channel, my fellow Stoics. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into some powerful philosophies of Stoicism and how you can apply its timeless principles to revolutionize the way you approach and connect with women. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Stoicism? That's some ancient Greek stuff. What does that have to do with dating and approaching women? But hear me out, because the Stoic mindset is arguably one of the most powerful tools you can cultivate for building genuine confidence, inner strength, and the ability to handle rejection like a true gentleman. You see, at its core, Stoicism teaches us to focus on the things within our control, while developing a healthy indifference towards external events that are ultimately out of our hands. And when it comes to approaching women, there are few better frameworks for maintaining your poise, self-assurance, and outcome independence. So in this video, I'm going to break down 10 specific Stoic strategies that you can start implementing today to transform yourself into a fearless approach artist with nerves of steel. We're talking wisdom from the likes of Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus. Knowledge that has withstood the test of time for over 2,000 years. But first, if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm dropping brand new videos every week to help you level up your dating confidence and become the best version of yourself when it comes to connecting with incredible women. With that said, let's dive right in. 1. Embrace the present moment. The first key to approaching women the Stoic way? Learning to live in the present moment. Too often, we get caught up dwelling on past rejections or obsessing over future outcomes that are entirely out of our control. But the Stoics would remind us that the only thing that truly matters is how we respond to the present situation in front of us. So the next time you spot an amazing woman you want to approach, don't let your mind spiral into a cloud of self-doubt and a what-if scenario. Take a deep breath, feel your feet grounded on the floor, and be fully present and engaged in that singular moment. She's right there in front of you. That's all that matters. Don't let doubts about the past or fantasies about the future pull you out of the only point in time where you can take action. 2. Radiate. Confident calm. Confidence doesn't have to mean being loud, brash, or showing off. In fact, true self-confidence, according to the Stoics, is embodied by a sense of calm, relaxed assertiveness. It's about being so solidly grounded in your own self-worth and the knowledge that you have nothing to prove, that you can approach any situation or person with a subdued, pleasant demeanor. So when you approach a woman, make it a point to consciously relax your body and breath. Keep your chin up, your eye contact steady but soft, and your movements unhurried and measured. Speak slowly and clearly in a warm, pleasant tone. This projects that you are totally at ease and unruffled no matter how she reacts. True confidence, as Stoics knew, is quiet, not boisterous. 3. Reframe rejection. Let's be real, getting rejected stings. There's no way around that fact. But what you can control is how you respond to rejection on a psychological level. The Stoic move: reframe rejection as something that is entirely out of your control and therefore not something to take personally or get worked up over. You see, her decision to reject you really has nothing to do with your value or worth as a person. It's based on her own preferences, experiences, and thought patterns over which you have zero influence. So instead of internalizing it and letting it rattle your self-esteem, you can simply shrug it off as an external circumstance that doesn't define you. Think of it like stubbing your toe. It happens, you feel it for a moment, and then you move on without judgment or resistance. 4. Manage insecurity. Following that same thread, Stoics would also advise digging into the root of insecure thoughts and developing clarity around where your true self-worth comes from. So often, our insecurities and self-doubts around approaching stem from making emotional judgments about ourselves based on a woman's interest level or opinion of us. But as Epictetus famously stated, what troubles people is not things themselves but their judgments about these things. That means your irrational, insecurity-fueled thoughts like, she'll never be interested in a guy like me, or I'll make a fool of myself, are just that. Irrational thoughts not grounded in truth or reality. So, Dissect where those toxic judgments come from, and reprogram your mind by basing your self-worth on qualities you actually have full control over: your values, your positive actions and behaviors, and your commitment to pursuing wisdom and growth. Her interest is a byproduct at best, but it doesn't determine whether you are a good, high-value person. 5. Develop enlightened self-interest. Speaking of pursuing wisdom and growth, the Stoics placed a heavy emphasis on acting in your own rational self-interest, in a way that cultivates your highest potentials. So, when you approach a woman, shift your mindset away from wanting her approval or chasing shallow validation. Instead, approach from a place of genuine self-interest. Do you think she could be someone who energizes you and expands your wisdom and perspective on life? Do you share similar values and virtues that could create a richly rewarding connection? Ultimately, you aren't seeking her validation, but you're evaluating whether getting to know her serves your highest interest in growing as a person through quality interaction and relationships. 6. Practice negative visualization. One of the most powerful Stoic psychological tools is a practice called negative visualization, which involves vividly imagining negative outcomes or worst-case scenarios ahead of time in order to prepare yourself emotionally. And for approaching women, this could be a game changer. See, so much approach anxiety comes from the fear and dread of rejection blindsiding us. But if you make a habit of feeling that sting in your mind's eye first, you condition yourself to handle it gracefully when it happens in reality. Sit with those feelings of rejection so that when you do face it, it loses its power to throw you off your center. So before you make an approach, clearly visualize how you would ideally want to react if she brushed you off, maintaining that stoic, calm, and unruffled presence. Do this over and over, until actually facing rejection becomes a simple hurdle you've already mastered in your mind. Her reaction can no longer cripple and disappoint you. 7. Speak deliberately with reason. Part of maintaining that calm, assured presence during your approach comes down to the way you speak, which the Stoics had quite a philosophy around. One of the core teachings was to speak slowly, deliberately, and with reason and purpose behind every word. You see, when we ramble on impulsively, we tend to stumble over our words, say foolish things, and fuel the awkward tension even more. But with a Stoic mindset, you focus on only voicing words and ideas that come from a measured, thoughtful place. So take pauses, think before you speak, and vocalize your words with clear articulation and intention. Not only will this make you come across as wise and self-assured, it will also stop you from word vomiting all over the interaction out of anxiety. Speak calmly and purposefully with her, as the master communicator you want to be. 8. Cultivate an unruffled presence. The next point is all about how you handle yourself physically and emotionally in the face of rejection or a lackluster response. The Stoics excelled at maintaining a completely unruffled exterior presence no matter what chaos or adversity came their way, and this mental fortitude will serve you incredibly well. See, most guys crumble and deflate the moment a woman shows disinterest or even mild discomfort. They get stiff, flustered, and quickly disengage. But you, as a Stoic gentleman, have conditioned yourself through the principles we covered to remain utterly composed and unbothered. So, if you get rejected, take it in stride with detached indifference. Don't show a shred of frustration, disappointment, or offense on your face or through your body language. Remain loose, easygoing, and seemingly unaffected. Wish her well with total poise and confidence and smoothly exit the situation like it was no big deal. Trust me, this Stoic-inspired ease under fire is incredibly attractive. 9. Find freedom and virtue. At the deepest level, what the Stoics wanted people to realize is that true freedom and confidence could only be found by basing your self-worth on your own character and virtuous actions, not on externals like money, status, or a woman's approval of you. You see, when you make your happiness and sense of value dependent on things outside your control, like her interest level or your perceived social status, you'll always be imprisoned by insecurity and neediness. But when you root your self-respect solely in the quality of your intentions, the virtues you strive to uphold, and the principles you live by, you become truly unshakable. So as you approach women, constantly re-anchor yourself in the reality that her assessment of you doesn't define you whatsoever. What matters is that you're showing up authentically as the intellectually honest, courageous, self-respecting person you've chosen to be. If she can't recognize and appreciate the man of virtuous character you are, that's her loss, not a strike against your immutable worth. The path of the Stoic frees you from that endless cycle of validation seeking that traps so many guys in nightmare situations with women. Embrace the liberating truth that you are valuable by your existence and effort alone. 10. Seek wisdom over pleasure. Which brings us to the final key principle, aligning yourself with a vision for connection that transcends mere physical pleasure or temporary flings. The ancient Stoics taught that the deepest sense of fulfillment comes from pursuing wisdom, growth, and high-minded virtues in our relationships and life paths. So when you feel that magnetic pull towards an amazing woman, examine whether she appears to be someone who can engage your mind and expand your wisdom through her own intellectual depth and strength of character. Don't just objectify her looks or get blinded by a pretty face. Ask yourself if she seems to be a person capable of stewarding your philosophical and personal evolution as well. After all, what's the point of sharing transient pleasures if you can't forge a profound meeting of minds and soulful connection as well? The enduring magic happens when you approach women from that headspace of seeking to be edified by their spirit and their journey, not just their beauty. When you keep this eternal drive for wisdom at the forefront of your mind and intentions when making approaches, it imbues every interaction with a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. You'll no longer just be chasing tail for the night. You'll be curating amazing humans to let into the sacred space of your time and world. All right. So there you have it. My fellow Stoics, the 10 powerful Stoic mindsets and practices to revolutionize how you approach and connect with incredible women. But of course, information is nothing without implementation, right? So here's what I want you to do. Go back and rewatch this video, taking careful notes on each of the principles and strategies that resonated with you the most. Then spend some time meditating on how you can start seamlessly integrating them into your current approach process. Leave a comment down below letting me know which of these teachings stood out as a particular aha moment or game changer for you. I'll be responding to as many of you as I can, and if you haven't already, make sure to crush that subscribe button and notification bell. I've got so much more enlightening and transformative content coming your way very soon. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. True Stoicism is one of the most challenging philosophies to adhere to in the modern world. It takes immense self-discipline and determination to continually realign with these eternal truths instead of getting swept up in the currents of instant gratification and unhealthy ego attachment. But what I can promise you with absolute certainty is that if you fully embrace these Stoic principles and face the refiner's fire of implementing them, you will emerge on the other end as a new man. A man of profound self-possession. A gentleman whose confidence, magnetic presence, and ability to handle rejection with ease will magnetize amazing women into your life. More than that, you'll gain a newfound sense of liberation and inner peace that can never be shaken by impermanent externals or other people's judgments. Your worth and your happiness becomes forged in virtues higher than just physical pleasures. You'll walk this earth as a beacon of wisdom and character. Until next time, remember, stay savvy, stay stoic,